Right, so you'll all be back here, won't you? Next year, won't you? Yes. Samar, that's welcome to the stage. Welcome to joining us.
It's a pleasure to be here, definitely.
I'm sure the technicians will have it worked out. Yes. Your Royal Highness, perhaps you'd tell us about the significance, really, of this event. The first World Cup that's coming to Jordan, which is significant, obviously, for the country, also for its sport, but also for the region. And it's a women's event.
I think in terms of women's football in Jordan in particular, and in the region, it is coming up right now. In Jordan in particular, we've done very, very well on all levels of women's football. Of course, there is still a big difference in terms of results on the pitch between different parts of Asia, especially East Asia is very, very strong in women's football. So we're trying to do what we can to build up to be as competitive as possible in the continent and hopefully in the world. And the way to do that is to start with the grassroots. And that's why in particular we looked at the idea of an under-17 Women's World Cup. And it will encourage that segment of society to get more involved in women's football. It's the biggest growth area. And we have the potential. So we're very, very happy to be hosting it. And I think it will also show a true side of who we are in the region. So we look forward to it.
Good.
No, I think Samar's back online now. So
yes, yes. Samar, you have a big job, big responsibility. I think the interesting thing, particularly about you, is your sporting background. And maybe you could share a little bit of that, because you're both a manager in this sense, but you have been a competitor, so you know big events from both sides.
Yes, I know what it's like to take on a big challenge. I've been passionate about sports from a very young age. I was a swimmer. I've competed for around 17 years, and throughout my athletic journey, I was honored to represent Jordan at 2 Olympic Games. I went to Sydney and to Athens in 2004. After retiring from my athletic career, it was only natural for me to progress into the managerial and administrative aspect of the sport. As such, I've served on several sport organizations, including the board of the Jordan Olympic Committee, which is the umbrella organization for sports in Jordan. I have a degree in sport organizational management, and in 2013, I was lucky to direct the bid for the FIFA Under-17 Women's World Cup. Of course, little did I know back then that I'd be the CEO for the event. The job does come with its fair share of challenges, but being an athlete, I thrive on the adrenaline of a good challenge. And I think really here I have to thank His Royal Highness, not only for his support for women footballers on the pitch, many of them are here with us today, coaches and referees, but as well for his support off the pitch as well, for women sport administrators, and for his belief in their capabilities, and I'm a true testament for that support. So thank you, Your Royal Highness.
That's very good. But Your Royal Highness, when you were looking for the CEO for the event, I mean, were you looking for a woman in particular, or was Samar obviously the natural candidate, having run the bid?
no, it was never a case of looking for a woman at all. But she is who she is, and it took some encouragement to get her on board. But I think that she's the right person, definitely for this job. So we're very happy to have her
on board.
I'm
yes.
very honored to have that position.
Most of us who come to Jordan, really, we fly into Amman. We know Amman as a city. We know some of the great historical sites, particularly Petra. But actually, this is going to showcase Jordan in a wider way, isn't it? Can you tell us a little bit more about, where the tournament's going to be, what the timings are going to be, and how it's really going to project both the football, but also the country?
Yes, of course. When you're talking about a World Cup and an overall spectator experience, you have the backdrop of the tournament is just as important as the venues in itself. So definitely we want to showcase Jordan. We're hosting the competition in 3 of our main cities, the most populated cities, not just the capital Amman, but also Irbid in the north and Zarqa in the east. We have a very convenient setup for this tournament. It's for smooth logistics and efficiency. We have central accommodation in Amman, which will have very easy access to most of the entertainment, the venues, the amenities, and the touristic attractions. And as you know, we have plenty of touristic attractions here in Jordan. No trip to Jordan is complete without a dip in the Dead Sea, the setting for this conference today, or visiting the carved city of Petra, which is one of the world wonders. But going back to our tournament, we're very excited and very proud to be hosting the first international women's tournament in the region. It's scheduled to kick off on the 30th of September 2016, and we look forward to welcoming the world into our stadia and onto our pitches for 22 charged days of intense competition. It's a global event. There are around 16 competing teams from 5 continents attending this competition. I'll just give you a bit of background on the venues. There are 4 venues for this competition.
Are they new, redeveloped? I mean, how does it work?
Well, we have a massive overhaul for all our stadias, in addition to the construction of around 17 training sites. The work has been in progress. We are partnering with our key stakeholders, which are the Amman municipality and the Higher Council of Youth, and we've put together an infrastructure development plan, which has been recently executed and was rolled out last year. And I think what is gratifying to see how the government, the public sector, and private sector are all rallying to ensure that we meet the objectives of this event at every stage. And we're starting to feel the impact of that partnership now as construction and renovation is underway. And I think here, and I'm sure His Royal Highness will agree, that when you're hosting or when you're planning for an event of that caliber and that size, key stakeholder mobilization is definitely essential. And for us, with all honesty, we couldn't have done it without the endorsement of His Majesty and the support of His Royal Highness, because you need buy-in from the very top to be able to meet the requirements of such competition.
Don't forget the Prime Minister.
Yeah, of course. Of course. His Excellency played an instrumental role in mobilizing everything and what needs to be done for this competition.
Well, what are the travel distances in times between the venues, for example?
It's very convenient. We've got 2 venues in the capital city, which are just 20 minutes apart and 20 minutes away from accommodation. Irbid is only an hour's drive from here, and Zarqa is about 40 minutes. So we have a compact and nice setting for the tournament, which is very convenient for attending football fans, FIFA delegations, spectators. It's very nice and compact and hassle-free, hopefully.
Yes. Yes. What about ticketing? What's your ticketing plan along the way?
Well, in the past year, we've really been consumed with infrastructural development because we only have 2 years for this massive overhaul on infrastructure.
Yeah.
But I think the challenges, or I don't want to say challenges, they're actually what could be challenges, could be our best opportunities, is venturing into the marketing perspective of it, ticket sales. But before we approach that, we need a whole array of projects to raise awareness about women football in general, that yes, women do play football. You're hosting a World Cup in the heart of the Middle East. So before you approach ticket sales, you really have to raise awareness about the game, the excitement, and everything else that comes with it.
And how are you doing that?
I think today's the official kickoff for the event, so it has to go upwards from here. I'm sure we have a good framework of stakeholders to be able to ensure the maximum impact for this tournament.
Okay. And there are more commercial opportunities? I mean, you've got a lot of companies, a lot of corporations, representatives out there?
Yes, we have a couple of companies here in the stadium, here in at the convention, who are potential sponsors for this competition. Now, we're definitely hosting a FIFA tournament, so we're modeling their marketing model, but we're giving it a Jordanian twist and flair, let's say. There are plenty of marketing opportunities for local, regional, and international companies. We're counting on their support to be able to execute an event of that scale. The government has handled infrastructure and is putting the budget and supporting that. But to be able to organize an event of this magnitude, we're really counting on national supporters. And definitely, in such a high-profile event and competition, there are lots of benefits that come for national supporters. And we have a whole range of events that are leading up to the competition, which they can capitalize on for sure and give them great exposure and awareness.
Sure. Is there a sort of test event ahead of it? A series of matches, or how do you get ready in that sense? How do you dry run for the tournament?
Now, definitely we have several legacy pillars, but one of them is capacity building and building the capacity of our staff to be able to execute and plan and manage other major sporting events in the future. So definitely there has to be a test event. We're working on our Premier League. We're currently assimilating a complete staff for the local organizing committee, and by beginning of 2016, we'll definitely have a test run on our local league.
Okay. Well, what is there in terms, I always think for events, I mean, it works both with bidding and with staging, in terms of sort of knowledge transfer. Obviously, this is the first sort of event of this kind that will have a world look in the world's biggest sport in Jordan. Where do you get, your support, your ideas, your models, to work from?
Well, Jordan is no stranger to hosting major events. We've hosted the World Economic Forum several times, the Pan-Arab Summits, even the Pan-Arab Games. But this is definitely the biggest football tournament to come to Jordan. We don't want to reinvent the wheel. We only have 2 years, and really, FIFA requirements are unbelievable. So transfer of knowledge is the best way. We've been on other World Cups. We've been to Brazil. We've been to the Under-17 that was held in Costa Rica. You've got the Women's World Cup coming up in Canada. So we do attend these events. We do learn from the experts that are doing it. And I have to say, FIFA, when it comes on the pitch, they know what they're doing. They have a complete staff that come in and help us and to be able to organize a magnificent event.
Okay.
But if I can touch on that as well, the requirements are quite difficult sometimes and challenging for hosting nations, and
they're very precise as well.
Very precise. Yeah. But again, we have to look at sometimes in the future about how that's dealt with. But touching on that as well, I think coming up now, I mean, there's the Under-17 World Cup in Chile. We have the chairman of the organizing committee with us here as well as Vice President from Chile and colleagues. So it's a continuous learning experience as well with our colleagues around the world.
And it's the FIFA know what they're doing in terms of competition management, but it's not an easy task for the local organizing committee because there are so many restrictions, especially on marketing restrictions. I
was going to say, how do you dovetail that?
Sometimes I feel we're organizing a World Cup with our hands tied behind our back because you can't really do it without national supporters. Yeah. You need that revenue and that capital to be able to organize the event, and yet we only have the flexibility as long as we don't get close to the FIFA partners. Yeah. So that really limits us in terms of marketing and the companies we can get in. It's a great opportunity. We're excited, but it's really a hard job with so many restrictions. But I'm sure we'll be able to.
It's like a jigsaw puzzle, isn't it?
Yes.
The piece absolutely has to fit into the mold. Yeah. What about legacy going forward? I mean, it's a fantastic opportunity, both for football in Jordan, for general sports organisation in Jordan, also for promoting the country.
For sure, I think what we're endeavouring to achieve through this World Cup is not just organizing a successful tournament, but it's the enduring legacy we want to leave for generations that fosters pride and passion for the women's game in the region. And for us, we're focusing on several key legacy figures that actually, it's a circle. They feed into and support each other. Primarily, the World Cup is an opportunity to leverage this World Cup to build for the future of the sport. And as such, we're constructing and renovating around 17 football training pitches, and they're located in areas of the community that are most lacking in that football infrastructure. And the benefits of which will directly feed into the local communities, the clubs, and the school. And we can't forget as well that having state-of-the-art stadia on par with international standard will also allow Jordan to stand out as a potential for future regional and international events.
Yes,
as well.
I mean you're almost establishing yourself as a leader in that particular sphere, and also in the women's game, which is...
We're trying, of course, definitely. Another pillar is growing the women's game. This World Cup will definitely play an invaluable role in raising the caliber of women football. A journey probably that has started 10 years ago with his vision of His Royal Highness when he established women football here in Jordan. And what we're attempting to do is initiate programs from the grassroots level to the competitive sport. And I think to do this, key stakeholder framework is essential because we want to talk about sustainability beyond the game. The local organizing committee is only here for the next 2 years, but we want to build that framework to ensure sustainability well after the game, funneling resources and attention and awareness on the game. Several projects have been initiated in collaboration with FIFA. There's the Live Your Goals project. In collaboration with the Ministry of Education, we're starting a public school tournament and introducing football as part of the curriculum in schools. The opportunities are endless, and I think 2 years are not even enough to meet the ambitions we have for women's football.
But if I can just add to that also, I mean, it is a legacy for the region, and especially in the Asian part of this region. We have 3 presidents over here who, from the President of Palestine, United Arab Emirates, and Lebanon, who are also doing a lot for women's football in our region. So I think together this will benefit us because they really are pioneers alongside us in football. And of course, Egypt as well, who's a step ahead of us right now in this. But I think that the regional benefits of this is most important, and to encourage the understanding that it's okay, it's good, and it's great for the health and well-being of society as well, and for our growth. So it's really a regional legacy.
And there's no particular issue with this event, with the timing and whether it's summer or winter or what the temperatures are or anything like that?
No, we don't have that much of a problem, obviously, with weather, especially as the capital and the cities are at an elevation. But having said that, it will be in September as well, so it's really probably the perfect climate.
Perfect timing. Perfect time, perfect event.
Definitely. Jordan boasts beautiful Mediterranean weather with 300 days of sunshine a year. And September would be the perfect timing of year to have a world audience come to Jordan.
Yeah, true. And you're president of the Football Federation. How's the Jordan team going to do?
Our national team, I think, we're in a bit of a transition phase right now. But I think our focus is preparing for the World Cup qualifiers. So we're looking forward to that. Our boys are doing great. A lot of them are professional outside, especially in our region. And it's a continuous evolution. Our Olympic team is now in full preparation.
And the under-17 women's team?
We're looking to get them sorted and together and ready. It's a little bit difficult because of schools and scouting and so on. Those are the sorts of challenges that you have at that age group. But if we talk about our senior women's team, I mean, they've qualified to the final, to the finals of the Asian qualifiers for the Olympics. So we wish them the best of luck. I think, hopefully that's a great opportunity.
Definitely, and the under-17 has just only last week won the West Asian Championship, so it's definitely a platform. I'm sure the competition at world level is much higher, but you have to start somewhere. Sure. And really, when you think about it, women football was established only 10 years ago, and 10 years down the line, we're hosting an under-17 Women's World Cup. So I think enough said. There's much more to be done for the future, but it's definitely a great platform for them to jump from.
I think you're making a great start, and it sounds like a great project. And as obviously as many people who want to get involved commercially out there, and as many people want to come and watch and enjoy, because I know that we all appreciate the hospitality that we receive here in Jordan, as we've seen here. Your Royal Highness, Samar, thank you very much indeed for your time.
Now I just say that I'm looking forward to taking my tie off and enjoying listening to all our guests and their different.
Right.
Thank you all so much. Thank you.